Good evening, my brothers and sisters. Your brother Tony is in the house and it's dinner time. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I hope that you all have not been eating too many sweets because you could be spoiling getting some of this good soul food tonight. I hope that you all ready for this good soul food. I hope that you haven't spoiled your dinner, but I want you all to come in and sit at the dinner table because the food is hot and I'm going to serve you up some good soul food tonight, and it's going to be very nutritional for you. So come on in, my brothers. Come on in, my sister. This is going to be a good show this evening. And if you want to participate, by all means, my brother and sister, you can chime in. And I would like to tell you all that I'm talking on two different platforms. I'm talking on the book and I'm talking on the tube. So we are all family here. Go ahead and invite some of your family members and friends because this is going to be some good soul food tonight that I'm going to put on the plate. It's on the menu tonight. How you doing, Sister Brenda and Bailey? How you doing? How you doing? I'm about to bring it on. It's going to be good tonight, my brother and sister. And if you want to participate, by all means, you can participate, okay? So when we sit at the dinner table, I'm not the only one that's doing the talking now. So if you all want to make comments, you can make comments along the way. And also, you don't only have to talk to me. You could talk to some of your other brothers and sisters that you see at the dinner table, long as it pertaining to the topic tonight, okay? So I don't want you all going left field. I want you all to stick to the topic. How you doing, Sister Parker? Welcome to the dinner table. And we're about to get into it shortly. If this is your first time coming to the dinner table, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk on relationships. I talk on a relationship basis when it comes from the origin of Genesis. When I said Genesis, I'm talking about the relationship that the man and the woman had. First, the man had a unique relationship with God the Father through Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And secondly, the woman had a relationship with God the Father through Jesus Christ. The Lord represented the woman back to the man, and in the presence of God, the man Adam said in regards to Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. So this is where I come from. Now, if you believe in another type of relationship, my brother and sister, you have what is called a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do. But if you sit at the dinner table, the only thing that I serve up on the plate is from a biblical perspective, Genesis, when a man meets a woman. Okay, that's how I come. But I still encourage you, if you don't believe in that, still just sit down and get some of this good soul food, okay? And with that said, I'm about to jump into the topic or the menu. Guess what's on the menu tonight? You all probably know it by now. By the way, how you doing, Sister Teresa Toomer? Welcome to coming to the dinner table. Tonight on the menu, my brother and sister, is a real woman must never pursue a man. Listen to what I said. A real woman never pursue a man. Never, ever, ever, never, never. A good woman never pursues a man. A godly woman never pursues a man. How you doing, me? I see you. Welcome to the dinner table. Now, what do I mean by a real woman must never pursue a man? Let's go to the dictionary first, and we are going to define the word pursue. When we look in the dictionary, and I'm reading this, it say, it is defined as follow someone or something in order to catch or attack them. Again, it is clearly defined in the dictionary. The word pursue is defined as to follow someone or something in order to catch or attack them. So we're going to move the word something. We're going to put someone, and we're not on the someone. We're going to put a man. So for tonight, dinner, we're going to say pursue mean a woman that follows a man or try to catch a man. So that's how Tony gonna sum it up tonight, okay? So with that said, my brother and sister, do you all remember, let's go back in time. Let's go back in time, some of you people that old school. You remember in the year, I believe it was 1987, the year 1987, that was this song that came on the radio. And that was this young lady that used to be a dancer on Soul Train. And I know a lot of you familiar with Soul Train. You remember Dawn Cornelius. And this young lady, she was a dancer on Soul Train, but she got into this group called Charlemont. So it was her, Jeffrey Daniels, and Howard Hewitt. But remember, that band broke up, and she went to a solo project. And the lady that I'm talking about Jolie Watley. So in the year 1987, Miss Watley, she had a nice popping song, and it was called "Looking for a New Love." Y'all remember that song? I'm looking for a new love, baby, a new love, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all remember that? That was a nice little track, and we danced to it. And I mean, it was a nice little song. But in reality, my brother and sister, that was a nice song. It reached #1. Yeah, sister Yolanda, remember that. That was a nice song, and I believe it reached #1. But really, brothers, and especially really, sister, you don't go looking for a new love. As a matter of fact, sister, you never go pursuing a man for affection. That's a no-no. And why do I say that's a no-no? Sister, let me tell you this. It is not natural for let me specify. It's not natural for a godly woman to pursue a man. I'll put it that way. Now, worldly women, they would do it. But godly women, you don't have to pursue a man. I'm telling you, sister, if you are a daughter of God, you do not have to pursue a man. Now, some sisters saying, okay, Tony, if you saying a woman shouldn't pursue a man, how can it happen? I stay at home. I don't go nowhere. So come on, brother, tell me something. You know, you got to tell me something. If I don't get out there, how am I'm going to meet a man? Just hold on. Just eat the food slowly, my sister. Just eat it. Just eat it slowly. Sister Kendra said, "What's for supper? What's on the menu tonight, sister, is a real woman must never pursue a man." That's what's on the menu, a real woman. So what is a real woman? We're not talking about a plastic woman. We're not talking about a worldly woman. We're talking about a spiritual woman. You all know what I'm talking about. If you're a daughter of God, you are the top notch, sisters. No worldly woman can't touch you. Now, a worldly woman, she may, from the world standpoint, she may look better. She may have a better physique than you, but overall, the total package, a worldly woman ain't got nothing on a daughter of God. Because you see, the real beauty of a woman is on the inside. And a real woman, she would like to be in a relationship with a real man, not a plastic man, not a man that is a perpetrator. So let's talk about Ruth for a moment. Sister Parker said there are a lot of godly women being single for years, and they get out the house to go to the function. Okay, I see that, but we're about to tackle this tonight. We're about to tackle this. So let's look at Ruth. A lot of you sisters and brothers, you're familiar with Ruth, but we're about to talk about this. Sister Yolanda said, worldly woman don't have substance. Amen. They don't have substance. They could look good, they could be fine, but they just don't have it up there. And when you talk to some of these beautiful women that's on a Richter scale between 0 and 10, and they be maybe 8, 9, or 10, sometimes when you talk to them, it just, you wonder what's going on up there. And they have a lot of empty conversation. You have to, a lot of time the man have to carry the conversation because they can't talk about nothing but based on what they see on TV. But a man of God, he not only want to talk about spiritual things, he want to talk about things of the world that got substance. You understand? So a real serious man, he's looking for a woman that got something that he could really, really discuss with her and spend time with her. A godly man, he doesn't want an empty box. And how you doing, Sister Lisa? How you doing? Welcome to tonight's dinner table. Now, let's talk about Ruth. You are familiar with Ruth, and I'm not talking about baby Ruth. I'm talking about Ruth, the one that met Boaz. This is one of the most romantic meetings of a man and a woman. And a lot of you brothers and sisters, you familiar with Sister Ruth, right? But let's just talk about Ruth by herself at the moment before she encountered Boaz. Let's go back in history. So when we go back in history, as you know, Ruth, at one time, Ruth was not a believer. Let's put that out there. At one time, Ruth was a woman of the world because she was not an Israelite. So Ruth believed in something else. Let's establish that. Ruth believed in something else. We're going to go detail. Ruth had her own God because she was a Moabite. She was not an Israelite, so she believed in an idol. So what happened? There was this lady named Naomi and her husband. They had 2 sons. So they moved to the area where Ruth was raised up at, right? So one of Naomi's sons married Ruth, and her other son married another lady. So what happened? Naomi's husband, he died. One of Naomi's sons that were married to another lady there, he died. And then Ruth's husband died. So Ruth was basically a widow. She was a widow. But let me tell you, she was influenced by Naomi. What do I mean by she was influenced by Naomi? Naomi believed in the God of Israel. So what did Ruth do? Ruth started believing in the one true God. So when Ruth's husband died, and I'm not saying, sister, you got to get married for a man to find you. I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to show you something, okay? So Naomi's husband died. Ruth's husband died, which was Naomi's son, and Naomi's other son, he died. So Naomi told Ruth and her other daughter, said, I'm about to go back home where I come from. So she told Ruth and the other young lady, she said, you all could stay here. Y'all young and you can hook up with another man. But one stayed, but Ruth did not stay. You know why? Ruth started believing in the God of Israel. And Naomi, she had a godly influence over Ruth. So she decided to go with Naomi. So when Ruth went to Naomi, they got back to Ruth's hometown. Ruth, the first thing in order, Ruth knew that she had to survive. She knew she had to survive. Naturally, Ruth had a desire for a man, but the first principle, her first thing was to serve God. That was Ruth's first thing on the agenda, to serve God. The second thing on Ruth's agenda, and sister, you all need to listen to this. The second thing on Ruth's agenda was to survive. Not only was Ruth supposed to survive for herself, she was looking out for her mother-in-law because her mother-in-law was up in age. So what did Ruth do? Ruth went out to look for employment. Now, this is a sticker point. Ruth, setting the stage, sister, Ruth went out to look for employment because she had a responsibility. She had to take care of herself, and she was taking care of her mother-in-law. So in order, Ruth believed in God. That was the first thing on her agenda. The second thing was to survive. Now, when I say survive, sister, look, you, sister, this is a blueprint. This is a master blueprint. Make sure, sister, before you get into a relationship with a man, that you have a relationship with God through Jesus first. That's the one most important thing, because, sister, once you have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ, when you are pleasing God, and when you're pleasing God, guess what's going to happen? Eventually, God, through his son Jesus, is going to give you the desire of your heart. Now, some sisters saying, okay, why can't the Lord, I believe in the Lord, but I want to be in a relationship like this. I'm going to do all I can, but I'm going to try to please the Lord, but I want to be in a relationship with a man like this. I'm tired of being lonely. Sister, this is where you have to exercise patience, okay? You got to exercise. That's right, Sister Teresa. Naomi home is Judea. That's right. You're right. How you doing, Sister Greta Campbell? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the night dinner table. So what Ruth was doing, she had to grind. She had to get on her grind. So Ruth got employment. But before Ruth, when Ruth got employment, she still was not looking for a man. She had a desire for a man, but she wasn't going looking for a man. So that's what your sister got to understand. You can have a desire for a man, but the tricky part is don't go looking for one. So when Ruth was getting her grind on it, some of you sisters like this. Once you believe in God and you're doing the will of God, look at surviving on your own. Look at being a survivor on your own. Now, some of you was raised by your parents that saying, don't depend on a man to do nothing. Some of you were raised where your parents said, get your college education and get your own stuff and don't depend on a man. Let me tell you this. Your parents, my brother and sister, they may have been, where your sister primary, they may have been telling you some positive things, but I beg to differ. No parent should tell their daughter, don't depend on no man. They trying to protect you, but then on another side, they're not telling you, because a lot of parents that tell you sisters don't depend on no man, they don't even teach you how to be in a relationship with a man. They really don't. A lot of parents, they think that you got this blueprint in your mind about a man, but you sister, you don't. Just like a man doesn't have a blueprint in his mind about a woman until he comes into the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But sister, once you understand, you can get your education, you can get employment, you can have your own business or whatever, but you got to understand this. Your mental concept should not be don't depend on a man to take care of you. No, you don't do that. You see, sister, you got to understand this. When you was created, the Bible clearly tell you why you was created. First of all, when you go to Ecclesiastes, somebody always calling me. Hold on, brother and sister. When you go to Ecclesiastes, my brothers and sisters, it said, let us sum up the whole conclusion. Fear God and keep his commandment, for that's the whole duty of man. That go for man and woman. But the Bible also say, when it was talking about a woman, the Bible clearly say that a woman was the man was not created for the woman. The woman was created for the man. That's what a lot of your parents do not tell you. The man was not created for the woman. The woman was created for the man. Now, when we go back to Genesis, when God created Adam, remember God said it's not good for man to be alone. I will make for him a helpmate. Okay? So he created Eve. Why did God create Eve? He created Eve because he said that it's not good for man to be alone, and I'm going to make him a helpmeet, or a helpmate, someone to walk side by side, not behind him, not in front of him, but by his side. So, sisters, when God created you, especially if you have a desire for a man, sister, if you have a desire for a man, you were made to be a wife. You were not made to be a girlfriend. You were not made to be a boo. You were not made to be a concubine. You were not created to be a side chick. If you have a desire for a man and you're a daughter of God, you was created to be a wife, secondary mother. But if you have a desire for a man, you was created to be a wife. Even if you say you want to be single. So if you want to be single, nothing wrong with being single. But if you want to date a man, I mean, why would you want to date a man and you single? You can't have it both ways. You see, you want to be single and you just want to date. That's not God's way. God's way is, I always say that, it's get to the point of being engaged and then get married. God don't want you on a long-term relationship. He doesn't want that, sister. He don't want you playing. God put you here for X amount of time. When you come into the world, you came in with a expiration date. You got a born date and you got an expiration date unless Jesus come before that. So in that time, God did not put you here just to be putting you here, just to find something to do. When God put you here, sister, he put you here for a purpose, just like he did for the brother. But I'm mostly focused on your sister tonight. A real woman must never pursue a man. How you doing, Sister Asher? And Sister Yolanda Barty said, you are the helpmeet. That's right. The woman is the helpmeet. Sister, that's what you are. If you have a desire, how you doing, Sister Lisa? If you have a desire for a man, you was created to be a helpmeet. Not to be used, but to be utilized, because God supposed to have gave this man a purpose. If the man is a son of God, this man have a purpose. You have a purpose when God called this man to find you, but we're going to get to that shortly. Going back to Ruth. How you doing, Sister Althea? When welcome to tonight dinner table. When Ruth got to where her job, she wouldn't think about no man. Keep this in mind. She would think about God and survival. That's all she was thinking about. But she still had a desire for a man. But she wasn't looking for no man. She had a desire for a man. So, sister, there's not nothing wrong with you having a desire for a man, but don't go looking for one. So while she ended up on the property that Boaz owned, okay? When she got the job on Boaz's property, she had not met Boaz yet. She didn't meet him. You got to understand this. This was part of God's will, my brother and sister. Just like this, sister, wherever God put you at, whatever, if you own a business or you're working for someone, God put you there for a purpose. And the purpose is to let your light shine for God first through his son, Jesus. That's the number one thing. God wants your light to shine. So when Ruth was put on Boaz's property, she was just there focusing on work, but she still had a desire for a man. Sister Parker said, some of the men doesn't even want to get married. They don't even know who they are as men. That's very true, Sister Parker. That's very true. But let me tell you this. As Ruth was working, she would just whistling while she worked. So what happened? One day, Boaz came up to his property. And when Boaz came up to his property, he noticed Ruth. He did not notice Ruth by incident or coincidence. It was not his lucky day. When Boaz met Ruth, it was not his lucky day. It was planned. Let me tell you, when Boaz met Ruth, it was already planned before you read the story. Boaz and Ruth was in God's mind before God created the world. It didn't just happen by incident or accident, whatever you want to say. Incident. It did not happen that way. It did not happen by luck. It did not happen by chance. It was in God's mind for those two individuals to meet. So God orchestrated it. Let me tell you how God orchestrated it. When Ruth was born, he already knew. Remember, I always say God see the whole parade. What do I mean by parade? It's like when we go to the parade, what we do, we stand on the street and we see the beginning of the parade as the progression go by, right? But God is like on the roof and he looks down. He see the beginning part of the parade, the middle part of the parade, and the end part of the parade. That's perspective. So God knew about Ruth before he created her, before he put Ruth in her mother's womb. He knew her. So when Ruth was a little girl, she lived her life. She got married. Her husband died. She made that move with her mother-in-law. And God came to her. What do I mean God came to her? By Naomi influence, the family influence. So Ruth discovered about God through Naomi and her family. So that's why she embraced God. That's why she followed him. But anyway, back to Boaz's property. Boaz noticed Ruth. God he planted Ruth there at that specific time. God orchestrated for Boaz to meet Ruth at that specific time. It was on God's time. It was not on Ruth time. It was not on Boaz's time. It was on God's time. It was part of the master plan. Why do I say it was part of the master plan? Do you not realize, my brother and sister, from Boaz and Ruth when years were going by, their lineage. Jesus came onto the scene. So when God paired Ruth and Boaz together, they came down royalty line, King David, King Solomon. And it came all the way down to when Jesus came into the world. So brothers and sisters, especially when God calls a man to find you, he got something down the road that you might not even see yet. Ruth and Boaz, they did not see completely what Jesus was going to do when he came. Just like this, my sister, when God calls a man to find you, you don't know what all God got planned down the road by him planning you, sister, in a position so that man can find you. So when Boaz started inquiring about Ruth, he got some background information on Ruth before he approached her. So when Boaz came on the scene, he's talked to the foreman or Ruth boss about Ruth. And the foreman or the supervisor gave Boaz the 411 on Ruth. But you got to understand that there were other women that were working on that property also. It was other women. Ruth was not the only one, but Ruth was the what? She was the chosen one. Let's say that two more times. Ruth was the chosen one. Ruth was the chosen one. What does chosen one mean? Chosen one is someone that God handpicked to do fulfill his purpose and will on this earth. Ruth was a chosen one. Those other women that were on the property, they were not. Many are called, but few are chosen. Ruth was chosen by Boaz. Ruth's light was shining. Her light shined more than those other ladies. The Bible never tell you how Ruth looked physically. You ever notice that? It never tell you how Ruth looked physically. But Ruth, she was beautiful from inside out. So she had a beautiful spirit on the inside of her, which was Jesus. So what attracted Boaz to Ruth? Her inner spirit. Boaz was a spiritual man. And I'm sure God probably sprinkled a little nice looking Ruth, a little fine looking Ruth or whatever. But what was most important to Boaz was what was on the inside of that woman. Let me give you an example. Let me take my life. I'm not Boaz, and you see that woman right there. Let me see how it go. That woman right there, she's not Ruth. But let me tell you, God set me in a position to find her. She didn't come looking for me. I found her. I had been dating other women before I found her. I had a desire to be in the right relationship with a woman. I had failed relationship prior to that because I was doing it my way. So when God calls me to find her, it was the right time for us. When I met that one right there, her name is Tequessa. If you all don't know her name, Tequessa. Let's say it together, Tequessa, because some of you all be tearing my wife's name up. So if you can't say Tequessa, just call her Cinderella because the shoe fit. That's what I call it. That's easy for everybody. Just call her Cinderella. If you see her or whatever, just say Cinderella. She'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" So she know her code name, okay? But anyway, back to the story. When I met that one right there, God positioned me to see her. And when I seen her, she was a woman she was not a perfect woman, but she had the Spirit of the Lord residing in her. You understand? She had the Spirit of the Lord. She was not perfect. She was not flawless. I was not perfect. I was not flawless, but Lord allowed me to see that sweet spirit in her. And that what really appealed to me, the spirit that was in her, even though she was not perfect. She was a virtuous woman. What do I mean by virtue? I don't mean a woman without sin, because she had a sinful past, like I had a sinful past. Ruth had a sinful past. Boaz has a sinful past. The Bible said they are not none righteous, no, not one. Was my wife perfect for me? No, she was not perfect for me. Was I perfect for her? No. We was right for one another. That's the key word. We was right for one another. So God orchestrated for us to meet. Sister Parker laughed. She said her code name. That's cute. Yep, Cinderella. That's the code name, Sister Parker. If like I said, some of y'all be tearing my wife's name up. It's Tequessa. Let's say it together. Tequessa. But you ain't got to say it. Just say Cinderella. She will answer you. If you say Cinderella, she know who you're talking about. How you doing, Sister Flo? Welcome to the dinner table. So when Boaz seen that sweet spirit of Christ in Ruth, he inquired to the foreman who was that. And he gave Boaz the 411 on her. So, and I have said this before in a previous show. When Boaz, he kept looking at Ruth, and believe me, he seen other women. He seen other women. When I seen Cinderella, I seen other women. I was seeing other women before I seen Cinderella. Boaz seen other women, but they were working on his property. I ain't had no property for no women to work on, but I seen some women out there, but I ain't had no property like that. Like Boaz, I don't flexing like Boaz. But anyway, back to the story. He inquired about Ruth, and he took notice of Ruth. So what did Boaz do? Boaz positioned himself to approach Ruth. But before he approached Ruth, he started thinking in his mind, I could utilize her. Because Boaz was a man of purpose. He said in his mind, I could see me marrying that woman. That's what Boaz was saying in his heart. You see, sister, I always say this. We men, we know whether or not we want to marry you early. Don't ever let no man tell you, I don't know. Don't ever do that, sister. If you allow a man to say, I don't know, and give me time and stuff, that man, he's going to be wasting your time. Because a real man, he has a purpose. A real man has a plan. A real man has a goal. A real man is not going to string a woman along with lies and deception. He's going to let that woman know his intent right now. Now, if a man is not serious about a woman and he tell his sister, if you hear a man say, well, I don't want to get serious right now. Let's see how far this can go. He telling you right then. If a man said, I'm not ready, he's not ready. Listen to the man, sister. Don't listen to your heart. Listen with your ear. The man said, I'm not ready. If he say he ain't ready, he ain't ready. Stop thinking subconsciously that you're going to change a man's mind. He said he ain't ready. If a man telling you if he's single, how you doing, Sister Linda? Welcome to the dinner table. If a man's single and he tell you he's dating other women, what make you think he just gonna drop out then for you that one day? He already tell you, I'm dating other people. This man telling you, what make you think that he gonna drop everyone on that one day and just concentrate on you? Now, if a man be straight up and he tell you, I'm dating other women, and you want to become part of the number, you made that decision. If the man is already in a relationship with a woman and he let you know, and you decide to be a part of the number, you made that decision. He told you that he's in a relationship. Especially the man tell you he married. He told you he was married. If that man said, I'm going through a divorce, he's still married. If that man is single, if that man is separated from a woman and he said, I'm separated, he's still married. Some of you sisters, I'm not talking to no worldly women. I'm talking straight to you, those of you that's single. If you see yourself in it, I'm sorry that I'm stepping on your toe. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry I'm stepping on your toe. I'm your brother. I love you, and I'm trying to help you. Okay? I'm your big brother. I'm trying to help you. From a man viewpoint, I'm trying to tell you all some things. So listen. And some of you brothers, y'all just keep eating on it, keep eating your food, keep eating your steak, put a little salt on it, and listen to it, because you brothers, when I said brother, I'm talking about those of you that follow Christ. You know I'm telling these sisters the truth. Worldly men that want to come and see what's cooking, or worldly women that want to come and see what's cooking, they're going to think what I'm talking about is a whole bunch of crap. You know why? Because they into the world. They will not ever understand what I'm talking about. But you, sister, and you, brother, when I said sister and brother, I'm talking about those of you that follow Christ. Those are my only sister and brother, those that follow Christ. If you don't follow Christ, you're not my sister. If you don't follow Christ, you're not my brother. You are my acquaintance. You're never with my brother until you follow God. Now, since I got that straight, let me go with the story. So Boaz, when he inquired about Ruth and he approached, and then he started making provision. He started talking to this guy. After he got the 411 on Ruth, he started telling the man, give her some extra stuff. So he got this thing in his mind. Not only I could see her as my wife, I could see providing for her. Because Boaz told the man, make sure you give her some extra stuff. And not only that, he's seen Ruth as being his wife. He's seen Ruth as providing for her. And he also seen Ruth, I want to protect her. Because Boaz also told the man, make sure nobody don't mess with her. So Boaz seen the spirit of Ruth, that glow that came out of Ruth. He's seen that he could provide for her. He's seen that he could protect her. And you know what Boaz said? I want to get to know her. You know what Boaz did? He invited Ruth to dinner. Boaz invited Ruth to dinner. When he let Ruth know what he wanted to do, Ruth said to him, why do I find favor with you? That's what Ruth wanted to know. Out of all those women, how you doing, mother? Welcome to the dinner table. She said, why did I find favor? What Ruth did not understand was this. In Proverbs 18:22, let me tell you what Proverbs 18:22. Let me read out of God's word. Proverbs 18:22. It said this: whosoever findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord. Remember, Ruth said, how did I find favor for you? Listen to what the Bible says. It said, whosoever find a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. Obtain favor. Favor, that key word, she obtained favor. You know why she obtained favor? It was something Boaz, he would delight himself in the Lord. Ruth would delight herself in the Lord. Ruth had a desire for a man. Boaz had a desire for a woman. Boaz did not know that when him and Ruth got together, that Jesus was going to come down the lineage. So, brother and sister, when the Lord puts you together, if it's strictly the Lord, something going to come out of it. You may not see it. You understand? You may not see it in your lifetime. But when God put you together, my brother and sister, he planted a seed that by you, brother, and you, sister, getting together, so something going to happen according to God will down the road. How you doing, sister Woodford? So what did Ruth do? Ruth got the news. She ran home and told her mother-in-law, she said, hey, do you know this man named Boaz? And Ruth, I can imagine Ruth, she was like sitting sewing or something like, not Naomi. I can imagine she was just chilling at home and Ruth ran into the house. She was sweating and stuff. She just had came out the field. She was sweating and stuff. And she probably said, Mother Naomi, do you know this guy named Boaz? And then I could imagine Naomi, she was so, and then she said, who, child? Calm down, child, calm down. Do you know the man named Boaz? Do you know him? Yes, I know him. He's a kingsman. Yes, I know him. He wants to have dinner with me. He what? Boaz want to have dinner with you? Yes, he want to have dinner. Mother-in-law, you know what mother-in-law said? She said, child, I want you to go take a bath. Go take a bath. Put on your best dress, don't and your high heels. Now, I ain't talking about Johnny Gill. She was saying, put on your best dress, go take a bath, get yourself together, get your hair done, and then you go to dinner. Ruth listened to Naomi. Naomi was a godly woman. If you notice this, Naomi did not talk about Boaz, he got money. She didn't say that. He got money. He got a house. He got a business. She didn't say none of that. You know why? It was important, but it wasn't that important. The only thing, she knew that Boaz was a good man. That's the key thing. She knew that Boaz was a man of God. How many of you sisters, you go run and tell your friend that a man wants to meet you? How many of you sisters, you run and tell your mama that a man meet you that got a little reputation? You know the first thing most women would tell you, including some of your mamas, not all your mamas, but some of your mamas, the first thing they want to know, what does he do? What does he do? When they say, what does he do, that means, does he have a big ATM machine in his pocket? That's what most women concentrate on. What does he do? Naomi wasn't like that. What most women should say when a woman say excited about a man, the first thing they say, I know of him. That's a good man. That's what a woman should tell her daughter or a friend. That's a good man. He followed God. You know why a lot of women and some of the mama don't say that? Because they don't know the spiritual thing. Because it's bigger than spiritual things. I mean, it's bigger than the fleshly thing. How you doing, brother Andrew? Women should obey their man. We'll get to that shortly. But anyway, listen to this. She got together and she went and had dinner with Boaz. When she had dinner with Boaz, this is going to blow some men's away. Boaz was not trying to get between Ruth's legs. Boaz did not invite Ruth to dinner to get her on her back. How many men out of 10 men? Out of 10 men, and I'm just being straight to the point. Out of 10 men, most men, not all men, but most men out of 10 men, and I'm being straight to the point, and I'm trying to be general. Out of 10 men that invite you women out to eat dinner, out of 10, it may be 2 or 3 that ain't trying to get between your legs after dinner. After that little special at Applebee's. Eight of those men gonna try to get between your legs because they bought you an Applebee's special or they met you for a drink. Maybe 2 or 3 they don't want to get between your legs. I ain't saying they ain't think about it, but they're not pursuing you to get between your legs. They're pursuing you because they see that you are a gem. They see that you're a virtuous woman. When I said virtual, I ain't saying no perfect woman. They see you like that. Sister Yolanda said, if the man is following the Lord, a godly man, women will follow. Amen to that. So when Ruth and Boaz had dinner, they had a nice dinner. They had a nice dinner. And Ruth did something that a lot of women and a lot of men do not understand. Now, you have to listen very careful to this part. Listen very careful. Ruth, when she decided to spend the night with Boaz. Some of your people said, oh, Ruth wanted to sin. Ruth wanted to sin. No, she didn't. Ruth laid at the bottom of Boaz's feet. When he woke up, Ruth was there. No, Ruth was not trying to throw herself on Boaz. No, Ruth wasn't trying to give Boaz song to get a relationship. She wasn't doing that. You all do the research on that. But she laid at the bottom of his bed, not for sex. I'm going to give you all an assignment. You study why Ruth did that. But back to the story. Boaz and Ruth decided to become one. Boaz decided that he was going to marry Ruth. Ruth accepted it. A man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. It was all a part of God's plan. It was not a part of Boaz's plan from the beginning because he didn't know Ruth. It was not a part of Ruth's plan. She didn't know Boaz. It was part of God's plan in eternity before the world became the world. And if you all remember that scripture in Jeremiah, God told Jeremiah, which go to you, brother, and you, sister, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. I have plans for you. Many are called, but few are chosen. Jesus said that. There are a lot of men that are called. There are a lot of women that are called, but when God calls you, you, brother, and you, sister, you are very rare. Let me tell you this. Don't you know, my brother and sister, when it came to Noah, and you all know the story about Noah, it was just 8 people on the whole earth that were saved. Everyone else was doing their thing. It was only 8. It was Noah, Miss Noah, Noah's 3 sons, and Noah's 3 sons' wife. Many are called, but few are chosen. Ruth was called, Boaz was called. Brother and sister, if God put you together with another man or woman that believe in God, that's God's doing. It's nobody else doing. God will set up the circumstance, my brother. God will set up the circumstance, my sister, where you all can meet. You understand? That's all God. Now let's bring it down to today's world. Let's bring it down to today's world. Sister Yolanda said, I read the story, one of the best little stories in the Bible. That is one of the best little stories because it was divine. It was God plan. So what I'm telling you, sister, the bottom line is God caused the man to find a woman. Jolie Watley said in 1987, looking for a new love. What Jolie said, I'm looking for a new love, baby, a new love. Now, that was, like I said, that was a nice song, but women don't go looking for love. Women don't go. Real women don't go looking for love. Worldly women go looking for love. Godly women don't. Because you know what? God gonna cause it to go down. When God brought Eve to Adam, God handpicked Ruth. He handpicked Eve because he created Eve. He brought Eve to Adam. God brought Ruth to Boaz through life circumstance. You got to understand that through life circumstance, God bring it together. Every man and every woman that God bring together is divine. It's on purpose. It's God's will. Sister Brenda said, it was a tradition that if a woman sleep at his feet on a particular night, the woman would be betrothed. That means engaged. That's right, Brenda. You right. Brenda did some research. That's what it means. They was in Ruth desired a husband. Ruth wasn't looking for no hookup for the night. Boaz wasn't looking for no hookup for the night. Boaz was looking for a wife. And he didn't know Ruth. Ruth didn't know him. They didn't have no dating sites during that time. I'm going to talk about dating sites shortly. They didn't have no dating sites during that time. God brought it together. But let's talk everyday thing. Let's talk, some of you sisters. Let's talk. Let's talk about Stella going to Jamaica. Let's talk about Stella. Let me tell you all about Stella. You remember the movie Stella Got Her Groove On? Let's break that down a little bit. When Stella went to Jamaica, Stella was not going looking for a man. Just think about it. Stella was not looking for a man. Some of you ladies that like to go on girl trips, there's nothing wrong with going on a girl trip, but a lot of women, y'all go on girl trip, you want to go to Vegas. When you go to Vegas, they say whatever happened to Vegas stays in Vegas. Some of you going to Vegas to get butt wild. Then some of you want to go to Jamaica because y'all want to, some of you want to say that Jamaica is like Vegas, and whatever happened in Jamaica, stay in Jamaica. You see, when Stella went to Jamaica, Stella was not going looking for Winston. She was going on a legitimate girl trip. She happened to meet Winston. Winston wasn't looking for her. She wasn't looking for Winston. They met and she wasn't looking for a man. That was something your sister got to understand. You don't go on girl trip looking for a man. You don't go to the clubs looking for a man. You don't go to football and basketball game looking for a man. You don't go to the gym. Oh, this is hot tonight. You don't go to gyms. You know you ain't going there to exercise. You going there with the little tights on. So, because you know some men up there in the gym working out. A lot of women, you don't go to the gym to work out. A lot of you go there to flex so the man can see your little big butt and you want to walk around. I'm not attacking no one. I'm just telling you the real thing. I'm not saying all women, but that's where a lot of people go. A lot of women go to the gym because they know some men are gonna go up there to get attention from the man. You going there with intent. Stella, like I said, Stella didn't go. Let's talk about the dating sites. Let's talk about some dating sites. Is it Tony? Tony, is there anything wrong with the dating site? Let me answer that question. Sisters, there's nothing wrong with the dating site. There's nothing wrong with the dating site. If you get on that dating site, sister, you don't go jumping, you don't go approaching men. If you're going to put yourself out there, do not approach men on the dating site. If you decide to put your profile out there on the dating site, don't be trying to get a man attention by you actively jumping in his inbox. Don't do that. Don't do that. If a man interested in you on a dating site, he will reach out to you. Now, the dating site. Some people would say crazy people are on the dating site. They say if you get on the dating site, you are desperate. That's a lie. And then there's some truth to it. There's a lie, and then there's some truth. You don't have to get on no dating site, my brother and sister, to meet a crazy person. Listen to what I'm saying. You don't get on it. So some people, those of you that believe if a man and woman get on a dating site, they desperate. That's what a lot of people believe. When a man and woman get on a dating site, they desperate. Don't they know you could meet crazy people on the dating site? You don't have to get on no dating site. You could be in public in your city and you desperate for a man or a woman. You can meet a crazy man or a crazy woman in the grocery store. You don't have to get on no dating site. So kill that stuff. How you doing, sister? Sister Ingram, how you doing? Kill it. But sister, let me tell you something else too. When you put yourself in a position for a man to find you, because you got a desire, you still don't go up. And I can make it this simple. For those of you that like to go to clubs, I don't recommend this, but if you go to a club and you want to buy the man a drink, my recommendation is for the woman, don't buy the man a drink, and the man don't buy a woman a drink. If you're thirsty, buy your own drink. Because let me tell you something, sister. Those of you that want a man to buy you a drink while you shaking your little butt in the club, let me tell you something, brothers. It's two sides to this, two sides to the coin. Brother, there are a lot of women that be in the club. They will take your drink, but once they take your drink, they don't want nothing else to do with you. For those of you brothers that you like to lead with your pocket, you want to buy a woman a drink just to talk to you. That's weak. Any man that going to a club to buy a woman a drink just to talk to him, you leading with your pocket. Sister, why are you buying a man a drink just to talk to him? Now, if you're going to drink, and I'm not recommending it, brother, don't buy her no drink just to talk to her. You talk to her, and if you decide to buy her a drink, you buy her a drink during the course of the conversation. When I used to be out there in the clubs, how you doing? Okay, Sister Parker said exactly. Amen. So very true. You can meet crazy people everywhere you can. When I was out there in the world, my brothers and sisters, when I was out in the world, when I was going to the club on ladies' night and all that kind of stuff, there's not one woman that I bought a drink for just to talk to me. No. I wasn't gonna buy no woman a drink just to talk to me. You think I was gonna buy a woman a drink to talk to me and then she shoot me off? Nope. We talked first, and when we talked first, and if it appeared like it was gonna may go somewhere, I would buy a drink. But you got to remember, I'm talking from a young Tony, not a seasoned Tony. I'm talking about a young foolish Tony during that time. I still wasn't gonna either will not buy. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. When I was coming up, there's not one woman from my past that could come up and say I was trying to buy them. What they would say, he's stingy. They would say that about me. I wasn't stingy. I wasn't a fool. Now, if we quote unquote got a relationship, I might do some things, but I was not into the habit of buying a woman, buying something for a woman to spend time with me. Now, if I took a woman out and stuff, I would do something like that. You know, if I asked to go out on a date, I would fund the date. Let me talk about that too, that dating part, since we're on the dating part. Let me tell you this, my brothers and sisters. When it comes, if a man asks you out for a date, if he asks you, everything is on him. If a man asks you out on a date, everything is on him. Because, brother, if you ask a woman out on a date, you supposed to fund the date. Yeah, my little sister Renee, she telling me about what my auntie said. Hey, Renee, Rhonda Renee Toomer on the book. Hey, Renee, do you want me to tell these people what Auntie Gussie said, what she told me and what she told you? Or you don't want me to say it? Let me know. Say yes or no. So then I'm waiting for my sister Rhonda Renee to give me the green light or the red light. Cause I'm going to tell you all what my aunt told my sister and me together. I'm waiting, Renee, Rhonda Renee Toomer. But anyway, when it comes to dating, sister, if you invite a man on a date, okay, my sister said yeah, so I'm going to tell you that. Let me tell you all this. Since my sister gave me the green light. When my sister and I was young, we had this Aunt Gussie. That's what we call her, Aunt Gussie. That was my mother's mother, grandmom, sister, one of them. This is what Auntie Gussie told Renee and me. She told me, she said, Tony, don't get old women no money. She said, Tony, don't get in no money. And then she turned around to my sister and said, don't mess with no woman. Don't mess with no man that don't have no money. You all see that picture. My aunt telling me, Tony, don't get old women no money. Then she told my sister, don't mess with no man that don't have no money. I had to tell. But anyway, back to the story. Those you sister, this is going to be sticky. You sisters that decide to take, and you're dating, let's say you're acquainted with the man and you want to date the man. I mean, you want to go on a date. Sister, if you reach out to a man and you ask him out to dinner or something like that, you fund it. Some sister, and I have a sneaker suspicion. I don't hope it none of you all. I got a sneaker suspicion that some of you maybe, or some of you know a woman that called a man and said, let's go out to eat or let's go somewhere. And when you got to the event, you wanted the man to pay for it, but you initiated the date. That happened to me. I got to tell some of you, Sister Floating heard the story before. Sister Sherry Smithton heard the story before. My mom and my sister Roman, they said, let me give you all two stories from my past. I was in college. I was broke. I had a little part-time job. There was this particular restaurant. It was a high-end restaurant. This lady called me. Now, I'm 19, young, dumb, and foolish. I'm 19. She called me and said, let's go to this restaurant, Tony. I said, okay. So we went to that restaurant. And I looked at that menu. There was no restaurant where you have to be spiffy and stuff. And we went in there, right? They call your name and all that. So we thought we were big. I thought I was big time. So anyway, we went in, we sat down, and that menu blew up. So we ate all that high costing food. Now keep in mind, she asked me out. So, and I'm stupid and young in college. I ain't gonna call myself stupid, but I was young and don't know. Because dumb mean you can't talk, but stupid mean you lacking some. I put it this way. I ain't gonna call myself stupid. I would say I was what a good word I could say, ignorant. Yeah. Ignorant mean lack of knowledge. So I had lack of knowledge. I was ignorant, young and ignorant. So anyway, the menu came out, and I looked at that receipt, because during that time they used to put the receipt closer to the man, right? So I looked at that thing, I said, woo. So I gave it to her, and she said, you the man, you supposed to pay for it. That's how some women do it. They would do that switcheroo on you. She said, I ain't got no money. I said, you called me to come out. So I'm in college, had a little part-time job, and most of my money went for that. She got me. I must say, she got me good. But I remember that. I remember that in my mind, my brother and sister. I remember that. So going into the future, I'm an adult now. I'm an adult. I'm coming back to my city. I had drove out of town, and I'll come back to my city. It was a young damsel. She called me, right? And she called me. She said, Tony, what you doing? I said, I'm almost back in the city. She said, why don't you meet me at a restaurant? I got you. So when she said, I got you, in my mind, that means that she was asking me out to eat. So I said, okay. So we went to this restaurant. We went to the restaurant. She got all that high price food and stuff. I didn't do it. I was trying to be reasonable because, I didn't want to, take advantage of the situation. We got finished eating. The waiter at this particular time, now the waiter, they bring the receipt and put it in the middle of the table. They don't put it closer to the man too much no more. They put it in the middle, right? So she would not look at that ticket. The waiter left. She still would not look at the ticket. I look, and I'm thinking, why she won't look at the ticket? So I told the waiter, I said, will you bring me another glass of tea? He brought a tea. So the third time he came, and I said, we need to leave because this is how this guy make his money. So the waiter standing here, she's sitting there, I'm sitting here. She still would not pick up that ticket. I said, we need to leave, This guy this is how he make his money. She said, okay. She said, go ahead and take care of that ticket. I said, what? She said, go ahead and take care of the ticket. I said, you invited me. She said, but you the man. Remember that happened to me when I was ignorant and young. So that was in my data banks, right? That was in my data bank. So this is what I did for this sister. This is what I did. And you all can call me whatever you want. But anyway, I picked the receipt up, and the waiter was standing here, and I said, you see this, and this. I'm paying for it. That she paying for it. Then she act like she had alligator on, like she couldn't put her hand in her pocketbook. That's what some sisters do. Now some of you sisters, not all of you, but some of you will say, but a man's supposed to still do it. If a woman asks a man out, he still should be a man. You don't have to, brother. You don't have to prove yourself. If you're a man, if you invite the woman out, brother, you the man. Cause you invite the woman out, you fund the meal. If you ask her, you fund it. If she asks you out, we talk about single people. If she asks you out, she fund it. Or if it's better yet. If you're gonna have confusion, just go Dutch. If you're single, before you go on a date, my brother, so this is my recommendation. Talk about how y'all going to do it before you get there. Don't assume. Don't assume. But getting back to my story. Should a woman approach a man? Should a woman approach a man? Let me tell you this, sister. If you're interested in a man, you don't have to go up and ask the man for his number. You don't have to do that. You don't have to approach a man aggressively. You could let a man know that you're interested in him by how you position yourself. Because if the man interested in you, sister, he's going to see you. This go for worldly men and this go for godly men. Let's talk about a godly man. If you're interested in a man, sister, and you're a godly woman, Sister Ingrid said, nah, unless he want to impress her. I went into impressing no women. I went into an impressing. But anyway, brothers and sisters, check this out. Sisters, should you approach a man if you're interested in him? You don't really have to do that. Because, yeah, that's right, Sister Yolanda, she had alligator on. You don't have to do that. All you have to do, he will see you. If God is in it, this is a key thing. If God is in it, he's going to set up the circumstance. The man will see you. And he will approach you. That's how God will do it. He will approach you, sister. It still comes down to a man that findeth a man that findeth a wife, find a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. He will approach you. And let me tell you this, sister, and I have said it before on one of my earlier broadcasts. Some of you sisters, I'm talking to some of my godly sisters, some of you walk around and you look mean. You got a mean mug on your face. You walk around looking unapproachable. You walk around looking cold. You walk around with your nose stuck up in the air. Like you all that in a bag of chips. Don't do that. That's why a lot of you sisters, tomorrow, Friday, you want to go on a date, nobody ain't no even approach you because you act stuck up. You got that mean mug on your face and you wonder why you at home on Friday night eating a gallon of ice cream, talking to your girlfriend, what y'all should be doing. You got a lonely Friday night. You there patting your cat on the head or your little dog. But you want to go out with a man. My recommendation, that's right, Teresa, I did say that. Some of you sisters, smile. Just put a smile on your face. If you put a smile on your face, sister, the man may approach you. You see, sister, you communicate with a man. You communicate with a man. Don't think you don't. Just because you don't communicate with your mouth, you communicate. You communicate with your mouth. You communicate with your body language. That's called nonverbal. So verbal is when you talk. Nonverbal is your body language. And then there's another language called your dressing. We're going to hit these three. We're going to talk about how you talk, and we're going to talk about how your body language, and then we're going to talk about how you dress, how you talk. Sister, when you talk to a man, remember, if a man approach you, what did I say? I say you pray to God and ask God to show you why this man is approaching you. That's the very first thing you do. You say a silent prayer to God. You ain't got to get on your knees and pray to God. You can say a silent prayer to God and ask God, say, Lord, why is this man approaching me? So God, he could communicate with his spirit, and his spirit can communicate with you and let you know why that man approaching you. Because God will give you discernment. And if God give you a red flag, take heed to the red flag. If you feel any unrest in your spirit, don't do it. If you feel peace, I mean complete peace, that's an opening. So when you talk to a man, you need to be straight up with this man. When he start talking, you could smile, still smile, and ask him, what is it? Do you need something? This is what you say, sister. I always say this. When a man approach you, you ask him these two questions. Do you need something from me, or you want something from me? Most of you all don't even know about that, right? I'm not saying you ignorant, but just you could throw a man out by saying, what do you need from me, or what do you want from me? And then listen. You got two ears. Listen to what he say. Need and want have two different meanings. Because you see, men know how to approach you based on how you talk. When you talk, men put you in a category how they're gonna approach you. I'm trying to school some of you sisters on something. Based on how you talk, that's the agenda that the man approach you with. So you have to ask the man some detailed questions in a short period of time. You understand? Ask short questions in a short period of time. If you don't know that man and you decide to talk more with him, if you choose to you don't ask him what his number is. Don't ask him what his number. If he want to talk to you, he will be aggressive. Or not aggressive, but assertive. And he will reach out to you. After he talked to you on the phone, it's not if he want to take you out, it's not to come over to your house. It's not to go over to his house. It's to go somewhere where you could talk. Don't go to no movies on the first date. Don't go to no movie. You can't talk in no movie. You go to movie to listen to to listen to the movie. You go somewhere neutral. And when you go there neutral, remember what I told you all, the strategy go for men and women. The strategy is forms, FORMS. You supposed to cover these. Remember, forms, FORMS, like form. It's an interview. When you go out, sisters, I'm talking specific to you. It's an interview. You're not going on no date just to have a good time. It's an interview because you don't want to waste your time. And some of you brothers, you don't want to waste your time. With family. Talk about the family and see, do you all have something common about family? Moving right along, talk about occupation. Moving right along, talk about religion. That's the most important letter, R, religion. What their position with Christ? That's very pivotal and it's very important. What is that man relationship with Christ? And brother, what is her relationship with Christ? After that, talk about money. See, do you have somebody that like to throw away money, or somebody that like to save money, or someone that like to mess up money? You need to know that. And then the last letter is S, sex. Talk about sex. Some of you saying, why would you talk about sex at the beginning of a relationship? Because those are 5 most important things of relationship: family, occupation, religion, money, and sex. Those are 5 most important things in relationship. And you could talk about that. That can go on for hours. That's what you're there for an interview. Then when it start getting deeper, you can start trying to talk, see, sister, whether this man got a criminal background, his consumer report, his credit report, and his health. And the same thing too, brother. You need to find out, does she have how her credit is? Does she have a criminal report? And her health. Those subcategories that you all need to check out. If you're single, sister, if you're single, don't have the man doing everything. If you're dating a man, trying to get to know him, don't have the man doing everything. Show that you're interested in the man. Why does he have to call you all the time? Why does he have to text you all the time? Why don't you show him that you think about him sometimes? Why you can't text him in the morning and say good morning? Why you can't invite him out sometime? Why does he have to always go in his pocket? Because you see, if you decide to get married to someone, it's supposed to be one. If you married to a man, and brother, you married to a woman, it's one. You're supposed to be able to share things together. When you get married, it shouldn't be one person toting the whole load. That's not how it goes. When you go back to the Garden of Adam and Eve, when God told Adam and Eve something, he said, I want you all to reproduce, multiply, and have dominion. He talked to Adam and Eve together. So he didn't tell Adam to do one thing. He didn't tell Eve to do one thing until they messed up. That's when he had to prioritize things. But in essence, God, when he brought Adam and Eve together, they were supposed to do things collectively together. That's why God said it's not good for man to be alone. I will make for him a helpmeet or a helpmate. That means someone to come along. That's just like this, my brother and sister. When Jesus went back to heaven, he sent his spirit down here. That's called the comforter. When Jesus brought his spirit down here, his spirit is the helper. It's helping you, brother. It's helping you, sister. And it's the same thing on the flesh level when it comes to a man and a woman in a relationship. One brother, he made a comment about the woman. I think he had made a comment about the man supposed to rule the woman. Now, let me be clear on that. When Adam and Eve fell in the garden, he told Adam first, because you listen to your wife, you're gonna have some hard work, labor to do. Cursed is the ground for your sake. He told Adam that it was gonna be hard for him, because prior to that, when Adam would cultivating the ground, it wasn't hard, but it was gonna be hard after that point. Then God told Eve, he said that, oh boy, here it comes. He told Eve that your desires will be towards your husband. Now, why did God say your desires would be towards your husband? This is what it means. It doesn't mean doing things what the man wants. It said desire to your husband. This is what it means. It means that God placed the man in position over the woman. You understand? He put the man as the head and leader over the relationship. Before Adam and Eve messed up, it was like this. But when they messed up, it was like this. That doesn't mean that the woman is inferior to the man. Some of you brothers, you want to beat a woman over the head with that submission thing. But let me tell some of you brothers this. You cannot demand a woman to submit to you unless you submit to Christ. For a man to want a woman to submit to him, you have to submit to Christ. If you can't submit to Christ, why would you want a woman to submit to you? Because the Bible clearly says God is the head of Christ, Christ is the head of man, and man is the head of woman. So any of you brothers that listen to me, if you desire for the woman to be submissive to you, you got to be submissive to Christ. And if you submissive to Christ, it's supernatural that the woman will be submissive in a submission role to you. Because the natural man and the natural woman is rebellious. That's worldly mean, we're rebellious towards God. So in the natural order, That's why you have some women saying, no man can't tell me what to do, because that's not natural. That's why you have some women that want to be the head over the man. And that's why you got some men that the woman is the head and the man right here. Let me tell you something, brother. If you timid in the relationship, women do not like men that are timid. Women going to challenge you, especially if you're timid. Women want you to be able to be a man and stand up to them. Because women, most women, not all women, they would challenge you to see what you would do. Now, you ain't got to put your hands on no woman. And some of you sisters don't put no hands on no man. But you will be challenged. Just like you, brother, you challenge Christ. When you do things against Christ, you challenging Christ. So a woman may challenge you on some things. When you get married, some of you brothers that aren't married, you could have a godly woman, but she might not agree with everything you say. She might not agree with everything you say, but she will submit to what you say. So don't think, brother, just because she's doing everything you ask her to do, and you got to know how to ask her. You don't demand a woman to do nothing. You don't demand it. God don't demand us to do nothing. He give us what is called a free will. He will give us instruction, but he don't demand nothing. And so, brother, you can't demand a woman to do anything. It's got to be in her heart to submit to you. It's not easy to submit to people because we got what is called the spirit and the flesh. It's an ongoing battle. That's why you need the Spirit of God to help you to overcome the desires of the flesh. Because, brother, in itself, you know it's hard for us to submit to Christ. Because we got this flesh and this spirit thing going on 24/7, 7 days a week. So natural, brother, your woman, she got the spirit and she got the flesh. So she got a battle going on, and you got a battle that's going on. So in order for a woman to submit to you like you looking for, she got to respect you. You see, when it comes to love, the Bible commands the man to love the woman. It don't command the woman to love the man. It commands the man to love the woman. And then it got for the woman to respect the man. So, brother, if you want the woman to respect you, you got to sow love into her. So when you sow love into her, brother, you will get respect. So, sister, if you want that man to love you, you got to sow respect to him, and you'll reap love. And you balance each other out. Men look at love a different way. Women look at love a different way. Brother, you're not a woman. Sister, you're not a man. That's why you have to have a relationship with God. Brother and sister, you have to have a relationship with the Lord so the Lord can input in you how to maneuver and deal with a person of the opposite sex. Brother, you did not come into this world with a manual on how to love a woman. Sister, you did not come into this world with a manual on how to respect the man. Your manual is God's word. You can pray all you want to, brother, how to love a woman. Sister, you can pray all you want to how to respect the man, but prayer is not going to do it. You got to read God's word. And when you read God's word, brother and sister, God would take his word and he would teach you the role, the duty, and responsibility of a man and a woman in a relationship. And with that prayer, when you read God's word, you're eating God's word. You eating. You see, you brother and you sister, you like to eat steak and stuff, don't you? Or if you are veggie, you like to eat veggies, right? Why you like that for your body, right? So don't you know you have a soul that's starving too? You have to feed yourself on the inside, not only your body, but your spirit. That's right, Sister Teresa. You have to read daily. Don't you eat daily? If you eat natural food daily, why you can't eat some of God's word daily? And now some people say, you don't supposed to eat God's word with no page. They ain't talking about tearing the Bible up and eating. I'm talking about taking it in, reading it, And once you do it, brother and sister, God going to take his word and it's going to transform you. And when it transforms you, you going to be like the likeness of God's son, Jesus Christ. Because that's the ultimate thing. God is trying to mold you, brother, and mold you, sister, to be in the likeness of his son, Jesus Christ, so that you can bring people to Christ. That's the basic thing, my brother and sister. When God coming to you, God's main thing is for you to bring men and women to Christ. That's your ultimate assignment. Live the light. Let your light shine so that men and women that can glorify your Father God, which is in heaven. A real woman but never pursue a man. Again, before I wrap this dinner up, what does it say in Proverbs 18:22? Listen to this again. Whosoever find a wife, findeth a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord. There it is. The man's supposed to find a woman, and that man find a woman when God bring that woman into that man's view. The woman, all you have to do, that's all Eve basically did when Adam seen Eve. She probably smiled when and some of y'all say, well, she was the only woman. Yeah, she was, but then when Boaz met Ruth, I guarantee you Ruth smiled. I bet you Ruth smiled when she seen Boaz. Even though she wasn't looking for a man, she had a desire. So, sister, there's nothing wrong with you having a desire. Some of you been single for many years, and you have a desire for a man. You have to be patient. Brother, if you want a wife, you got to be patient. Sister, you want a man, you got to be patient. It's not on your time, brother. It's not on your time, sister. It's on God's time. Like I have told you all this before, and you heard me again. That woman right there, let me put my hand. You see that one? I had to wait 5 years for that one. Why do I mean 5 years for that one? Because when I prayed to God, I wanted God to answer my prayer just like that. I was ready to get married. I prayed to God. I said, God, I want a woman to follow me as I follow Christ. I thought God was going to do it just like that. He didn't. Because I still had some stuff I had to work out. So, and God had to work on me. So about 5 years went by. And then God orchestrated for me to see her. And when I seen her, I reached out to her. How you doing, Sister Sherry Smith? I reached out to her. And it went smooth. We didn't have to, we didn't have to, you know how sometimes when you've been in a relationship with someone, my brother and sister, when you're trying to find a conversation, no, the conversation was flowing. It was flowing. It was like we've been knew each other. When God is in it, you're going to have a whole bunch of things in common. You see, the world said opposite attract. God say unequally yoked don't work. You see, if opposites are attract, that's wrong. That's worldly. Because from a spiritual standpoint, it's called unequally yoked. So you have to have some things in common. How can you walk together unless you agree? That's what the Bible say. You have to be in agreement majority of the time. So a real woman, sister, you don't have to pursue a man. So stop running. Stop thinking that you're going to die old by yourself with your cat or your little dog. Don't do that. All you have to do is continue to follow the Lord, delight in the Lord, and he's going to open it to you. You don't know when he's going to do it or how he's going to do it. My question to you, sister, do you have faith? What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. If you believe in God and you let God cause the man to find you, it's better for you. Sister, don't go to God telling him you want a man that's 6 feet tall. Don't go to God telling him the man got to make 6 figures. Don't go to God saying he got to have a 6-pack. Don't go to God with all that superficial stuff. Because if you do, he might just give it to you. And if God give it to you, he giving you what you asked for, but that's not what he want to give to you. So you have to ask God what he to bring the man that he wants to be in your life. Don't go to God, the man that you want in your life, the man that he wants in your life. And that's the same thing, brother. When if you desire a wife, you ask God to bring the woman that he wants to bring in your life. Not she got to look like she got to be a 10. She got to be fine. She got to know how to twerk and all that kind of crazy stuff. Sister Jill said, this is so true. God would do all the orchestrating to bring the two people together. We just have to be obedient to God, even when it doesn't make sense or it's out of our league. God presented me to me. Amen, sister. Sister Jill Briggs know exactly what I'm talking about. Brothers and sisters, I hope that you enjoyed this dinner tonight. I really hope you did, because the food was hot. And guess what? If you want me to go to the microwave right quick, I could warm up some of this good soul food and we could put it in a carry-out box. And so you could share, you could eat some later on or tomorrow. Share with your family and friends, because they need some of the good soul food. Okay? They need some of the good soul food. Those of you that are on the book, I'm talking to on 2 different platforms, the book and the tube. If you're on the book, like, share, and make a comment. If you're on the tube, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, so when I come on, you will know it, and make a comment and share. It won't cost you that much, okay? I love having dinner with you brothers. I love having dinner with you sisters. And let me tell you all something. I don't side with men. I do not side with women. But sometimes the content that I bring to you, I may focus on one gender than the other. So I don't want some of you that's new saying he was just talking to women and he ignored his brother and all that. No, I talk about relationship, because it take a man and a woman in a relationship. It's just that a lot of sisters, you needed to know this, don't never pursue a man. Never. You don't have to do it. If you're a daughter of God, you don't have to lower yourself to pursue a man. If you pursue a man, you are a woman of the world. Don't go running after no man. Don't go blowing no man phone up. Don't get in your car and do drive-bys. You ain't got to do all that stuff. God will bring you the right man, but he's not going to be perfect, but he'll bring the right man to find you. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. I'm going to clean up the table. You ain't got to do nothing. I just want you to get that toothpick and rub that tummy. Go and then go home or whatever. Go in the next room, turn that TV and go to sleep. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.